Hi, this is Ian Griffin. This February 12th, I'll be in Washington, D.C. delivering a talk at the Reagan Speechwriters Conference titled Magnifying the Impact of Your Speech with Social Media. Now, in preparation for this talk, I've got a couple of questions I'd like to ask all you speechwriters out there. Firstly, is social media something that's impacting your work, either positively or negatively? For instance, are speakers that you support getting annoyed by the distraction of iPhones and laptops in the audience? Instead of making eye contact with the people in the audience, people are often looking down and all they see is the glow of the faces in the PDA screen. Well, would you be interested in finding a way to turn that to your speaker's advantage? Secondly, what do you think is the potential for social media for the rest of 2010? Is it something you're paying a little bit of attention, a moderate amount of attention, or a lot of attention to, either as a freelancer or in your organization? Now, I don't know about you, but I trained in the era, I learned the craft of speechwriting, when a single presenter would talk to an audience full of people who would sit there quietly for 45 to 50 minutes listening to a keynote and then raise their hand for Q&A. I think those days are past. In my talk on February 12th, I'm going to be touching on three major aspects, pointing out why social media can help magnify the impact of a speech. Firstly, before a speech is presented, I think there's ways that we can use vehicles like LinkedIn to conduct polls and to contact groups of specific individuals to ask questions that can be of help in the research leading up to a speech. Now, we all use online references, we Google and use Wikipedia. I think there's more proactive ways we can make contact with even individual audience members before the speech to get their feedback in much the same way that I'm doing right now with this video that's hosted on a presentation page. Secondly, within the context of a speech itself, while the speech is delivered, I'll be talking about a fabulous book by an author, Cliff Atkinson, called The Back Channel, about how Twitter is used today so that instead of a single speaker magnifying their voice to the audience's voice can be heard both within the auditorium and outside the auditorium to people who can follow the tweets about that presentation. And in fact, for the whole Reagan conference, look at the hashtag ReaganDC, R-A-G-A-N-D-C. We've already started seeing some activity on, and during that week of the 12th, there'll be some real dialogue that you can join in with, even if you're not at the conference. Finally, I think podcasts, as I talked about in the Reagan 2009 conference, podcasting is a great way of repurposing speech content. A simple audio or video recording device like this flip camera I'm using can be used by any speechwriter who accompanies their presenter to the talk. Grab the audio, grab the video, create a transcript, put out a podcast or a YouTube video, and people way beyond and way after the event is given and way beyond it in time can participate in the talk. So those are the three areas I'll be discussing. What I'm interested in hearing from you is questions, concerns, and suggestions about this topic to help me address the issues that will be on your mind before the talk's given. So, thanks for looking at this brief video, and I'll see you in Washington, D.C. Thanks, Moby.